Hey everyone, if you want to know just how deep the divide is in this country, well, a good source to see or hear that kind of reality is Canada's crown corporation, the public broadcaster, also known as the CBC. And it doesn't just come from the contributors, it's also something you'll see that's very prevalent in the comments section of CBC news articles. Well, at least the ones that they allow you to comment on, right? That's the thing in Canada. Well, that's the thing with CBC is they'll close down if they don't want to hear feedback or the opinions or give you the ability to say what you've got to say on their platform. Well, they just won't include a comment section. That's the thing with the CBC. Some articles, there's a comment section. Some articles, there aren't. There's no consistency. There's no universality. You're not allowed to speak openly or vocalize your opinion if they don't want you to. They just shut you down and silence you. Meanwhile, they'll take your hard-earned tax dollars to subsidize and pay for their paychecks or their income. I firmly believe that most of the time that they do allow comments on their articles is for no other reason than to gauge public discourse or how the public truly feels. The big divide that I've noticed are those who function in the public sector and those who come from the private sector. That is one of the hugest divides in this country. But then there's the also geographic divide. There's Western Canada, Central Canada, and Atlantic Canada. And that's another area where you see tremendous divide. And I'm going to get to that a little bit further on in this video. But first, let's deal with the actual article out of CBC that I'm going to be referencing. And I'm going to get down, like I said, I'm going to get down to the comments section so that you can see and hear for yourself that kind of divide that I'm talking about. But like I say, let's first deal with the article. Headline out of CBC News, Calgary, it just feels pretty dire. What it's like for young Alberta men facing a 20% unemployment rate. Some 33,000 young men in this province are struggling to find work. These are three of their stories. It's being reported by Robson Fletcher, December 11th, 2019. At 24 years old, Joshua Leonard is getting used to being unemployed. He lives in Edmonton with his parents. He graduated with a diploma in IT more than 3 years ago, but hasn't been able to find work in the field, despite applying to more than 100 positions. He's worked restaurant jobs on and off to keep afloat, but currently isn't working. Honestly, it's not as bad as it used to be because I've just kind of gotten over it, he said. It's been so hard to find work all this time. I'm going to have to think of different routes to take in my life. Leonard is one of an estimated 33,000 young men in Alberta looking for work but not finding it. That number has doubled in the span of 7 months, according to Statistics Canada, putting the unemployment rate for males under the age of 25 in the province at nearly 20%, roughly twice the rate among women in the same age. Alberta hasn't seen these levels of joblessness among young men since 1983, when the province was in the grips of a deep recession. Today, the economy isn't great, but by most indicators, it's better than it's been in recent years, which makes this sudden spike in unemployment, the sharpest the province has seen outside of a recession, harder to explain. That doesn't make it any less real. For the tens of thousands of young men who are struggling to make ends meet, support a family, or forge an identity as they enter adulthood, it's a reality they face every day. Oh, and I just wanted to mention too, because I've heard a lot of people try to say, those who espouse mainstream media rhetoric because they don't think about what they're being told, they just regurgitate and repeat that kind of nonsense. But you've heard people say, oh, well, it's because of the oil price collapse since 2014, right? Well, it's an easy thing to destroy that argument because all you have to do is point south, down the United States. They had to go through that same economic reality, and the depression of oil prices happened to everybody, folks, but look at the U.S. Their economy is growing by leaps and bounds. Jobless rate is down to what is it, 3.5% unemployment rate? And in the oil and gas sector, like jobs are so plentiful, you can basically, pick a job down there. So don't give me this bullshit that it's because of the global oil price crash or collapse. No, because like I said, U.S. is doing the very best. What it is, it's economic policy and the fact that the U.S. is actually allowing market competition and business to flourish, whereas Canada, the federal Liberals, have been steadily doing their best to try to deny any economic activity for the natural resources in this country, or the natural resource sector, I should say. Big government positions, the public sector, oh yeah, especially in Ontario and Quebec, oh, they're growing by leaps and bounds. And on that Atlantic coast that I'm originally from, the East Coast, yeah, that's actually a lot of the major growth that keeps coming out of CBC and Statistics Canada reports is mostly government growth or low-paying retail jobs. Whereas the well-paying jobs, such as those on the western side of things in Canada, out there in the oil fields or the oil sands in Alberta in particular, or even in Saskatchewan, nope, they're still going through a protracted hell. That is no doubt very devastating for a substantial number of the young Canadians who are coming to the age where they need to start setting down roots, having a secure job, decent wages, some way so they can start a family, buy a home, do all those things that past generations could do so easily. But anyways, like I say, I'm going to move on down to the comments section because this is the part, because like I say, not only do I always read the articles, but I also, if there is a comment section, I always look to the comments to gauge what people are saying and get an idea how Canadians feel about it. Now, once again, it's totally anecdotal. Who knows who these people are? But at least it is one more data point to take into consideration. Now, what I like to do is I go, if you go on the CBC's website and you see the comments, you can go to a section down there just above it where you can pick what you want. So you have the choice of oldest, most liked, most replies, most active, or a featured comment. I personally prefer to use the most liked to see what the popular opinions are, which kind of gives you an overall feel, an overall mood, or a sense of what the bulk or the majority of the people are feeling or thinking. Here's the first comment by Wendy Suter. What's it like for young Alberta men facing a 20% employment rate? I suspect it's the same as it was for young Ontario men when Harper was PM. And that's the most popular comment. And you'll notice actually CBC has actually closed the comment section. I guess they didn't like the way things were going. I mean, based on that comment, does that not sound like petty vengeance? Ooh, under Harper, the Conservative, apparently, what, public sector workers didn't fare so well under Harper, so they're like, oh, that's good, let's get back some other, but it's not Harper suffering, right? These people that you're happy to hear that are suffering, that's not Harper. Do you not know the difference, Wendy? Nah, of course not, because once again, you're a CBC, obviously a big fan of CBC, and you're big into the collectivism, or groupthink, or that group mentality. Here's the next one by Gordon Feist. Everyone else in the country pays sales tax, retrains, and moves to where the work is. So once again, too bad, so sad. Suck it up, you Westerners, you Albertans. Who cares, right? Next, Denny O'Brien. So we're talking about 15-year-old to 25-year-olds. Why are they in same job number anyway? Move where the work is. That what you told the ROC for decades. Get rid of the TFW. Move to where the, what? Into government? Where's the work that you're talking about? The only real employment that's happening these days in Canada, if you're paying attention, is in low-paying, minimum wage retail jobs or working for big government. Is that what you're suggesting these people should do? Denny? And what do you mean? That's what you told the, what, these people? Which one? Which one of these people that are unemployed and desperately seeking work are the ones that you're pointing out to that said something that, anyways, like I said, collective mindset. These people, pure collective mindset, pure tribalism. Anyways, folks, I won't waste too much time. Like I say, you're going to get some positive, you're going to get some negative, but the first few comments on this article, which are, like I say, the most popular, are basic iterations of the same message. Too bad, so sad. Suck it up, Westerners. Don't really care. Matter of fact, it seems like they're kind of reveling in the pain of these young men. And that seems just about right for the kind of mentality and pettiness of those who truly are CBC loyalists. What a pathetic bunch. It's Canadian Libertarian, and I love liberty.